Well, we are less than 2 weeks away, people, from the inaugural 2023 SuperMotocross Championship playoffs. We have seen the entire 2023 Supercross and outdoor motocross season, and now we have riders that are qualified and ready for the three-round playoff that is kicking off next weekend, September 9th. In Concord, North Carolina at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The following weekend, round 2 is going to be at Chicagoland Speedway on September 16th, and then round 3 is September 23rd, where it's all on the line at the LA Coliseum. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us live right now. My name is Chase. I'm your host for today's show, and we're excited to be here. And today's show, we've got a couple key things that we want to talk about. So first of all, with these three-round playoffs coming up, you guessed, if you haven't heard yet, yes, Rocky Mountain is doing a separate fantasy league for just the 3 playoff rounds. And I'm going to highlight in detail exactly how that is going to work and the prizes, or should I say cash, that is going to be on the line. And then after I'm done there, we're going to have Mike Muye, who is the Senior Director of Operations from Feld Entertainment. He is going to be calling in live, and he's going to be chatting with me, and we just want to go over just the whole structure of these playoffs since it's the first time that this is happening. There's a lot of questions that I'm sure a lot of you have as far as how did riders qualify to be in the playoffs? How is the structure, the format of the racing going to look like? You know, what's the structure going to be like for the races on the weekends? All of that and a whole lot more. So if you join us live right now, hello and welcome. And if you do have some questions, maybe we can ask some of those to Mike while he's doing it during the chat. So please comment those down below as we go through. And if you're watching this after it is live, well, welcome anyway. So please, if you have questions, comments though throughout this video, if you're watching it after the fact, leave those down below, and we will do our best to get those answered for you. But a lot coming up. I'm super excited about the SuperMotocross series and these playoffs, and here is why probably the biggest storyline is the amount of money that is being given away to the overall, or should I say all the riders that have qualified for the SMX playoffs. There's $5.5 million that is up for grabs. And with the 450 class, the overall winner is going to take home $1 million. We have the graphic up here on the screen. You can see that. First place, so it's a 3-round playoff format. So this is the overall winner for all 3 rounds combined. $1 million up for grabs for the winner. And even last place, 22nd overall, is going to take home $25,000. This is unheard of. It is unprecedented in our sport, so I'm excited for that. Even with the 250 class, we're treated 250s as well in the playoffs. So you can see here that they've got $500,000 that is going to be awarded to first place, so on and so forth, all the way down to 22nd. So again, 22nd place in the 250 class, taking home $2,000. And that's why we've been seeing so much buzz, so many people talking about the playoffs all throughout the year. Is because riders are excited. Yeah, there's more racing, so we as fans, we love it because we get to watch more races. And the riders, well, they've got a lot of cash up for grabs, and there's a lot of people excited for that. And like I said, we're less than 2 weeks away. The first race is coming up next weekend in Charlotte, or Concord, North Carolina. So very excited for that. But before we get Mike Muye on the phone, let's just go over and talk about RM Fantasy SMX and how this is all going to work. So picks are going to open up this coming Sunday. So this Sunday, picks are going to open up. So the week before the first round. Now, the format for playing RM Fantasy SMX is going to be identical to what we've done for Supercross as well as Motocross. So if you played with us before, you know exactly how it all works. You're going to log into your account as soon as the website opens up on Sunday. You're going to create your free account. Once you've done that, you're going to make your top 5 picks and then the wild card. The wild card can be anywhere from 6th to last place. And to help you all out, me, myself, and my co-host, we're going to be coming to you live on the Thursdays before the races right here on YouTube, live 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and do our traditional RM Fantasy SMX live show to help you get stats to help you make your picks. So please join us for that. But here's what is up for grabs for this 3-round playoff for the SMX Championship. This is what we're doing. We're giving away cash, folks. We're not doing any sort of prizes. We're just doing cold, hard cash. And the way it works is for each round, you're going to go. Again, you're going to make your picks. If you are first overall at the end of the 3-round series, you win $10,000. Second place, $7,500, and third place is $2,500. But here's the kicker. if you win the overall, if you win that $10,000 and you get 2 out of 3 perfect scores, which we had a player do the first 2 rounds this year in outdoors, well, guess what? You get another $40,000. So first place winner, you could take home up to $50,000 in cash. So it's pretty awesome. We're really excited to do this. And also, even with the weekly winners, so we're still going to do 10 weekly winners as well. Now, we're going to get Mike Muye on the phone. We're going to talk about the point structure and how the riders are awarded points after each round. But what you need to know is we're going to follow the same format because the points are going to double and triple in the playoffs. Round 1 is single points. And then round 2, they're going to double. Round 3, they triple. So what we're going to do is for round 1, well, every top 10 winner, so if you're in the top 10, according to those timestamps, you get $100. For round 2, we're going to give to the top 10 finishers $200. And then round 3, each person in the top 10, you get $300. So that's it. There is a lot of cash up for grabs. So please, if you have questions about how to play RM Fantasy SMX, anything like that, please comment down below and we will get those questions answered. But that is what we are super excited for. So a lot to talk about. Again, we're going to get Mike Muye here on the phone here in just a moment, but that's the big story. So please add these shows to your calendar. Make sure, again, you're joining us live because we give a lot of really good stats to help everybody make their picks. And with it being Supercross or style tracks, if you haven't yet, you can look at the track layouts. They have those on the SMX website. These tracks are kind of a hybrid between a motocross and a Supercross track, kind of like a Daytona or an Atlanta Supercross. So we're going to dig into the archives, and we're going to find a lot of good stats on Daytona and Atlanta. A lot of these speedway races that these first 2 races are going to be similar to, just to give you the most information possible to help you make your pick. So I'm very excited about this. Again, rmfantasysmx.com. That is where you're going to go this coming Sunday to get ready for the first round. Now, as you all may wonder, yes, the playoff format, it's going to be overall winner, and there's a lot of other cool stuff that we're going to talk about. So when Mike Muye comes on, we're going to talk about just the overall format for the weekend. So, because now there's stuff going on Friday and Saturday. So riders are practicing on Friday, but it's not just going to be a press day. They're going to have a fan fest all day Friday, all day Saturday. If you haven't yet, you can go look at the first 2 rounds because they're doing camping. So you can even reserve a camp spot for the first 2 rounds and treat it like a outdoor national. So there's a lot of just cool things that are going on that we haven't seen before that we're going to talk about with Mike. So we're getting him all queued up right now, ready to rock and roll. So again, if you do have any questions that you might have for Mike during our conversation, please drop those in the live comments below. All right. We are getting him all queued up right now. I don't want to give away too much. I want to wait till we get Mike on the phone here. Again, Mike is the Senior Director of Operations from Feld Entertainment, and he's going to give us as much information as we can get out of him to get this all rocking and rolling. So, Sid, she is the one behind the camera right now. She's going to give me the okay when Mike is ready to go.
All right, he's ready.
All right, well, there he is. So we have him. Mike Muye from Feld. Man, welcome. Thank you for joining us live right now on YouTube to talk about these playoffs.
Hey, Chase, how are you?
Yeah, I couldn't be better, man. I just got done talking about fantasy, talking about the money that Rocky Mountain is giving away, talking about $5.5 million that is up for grabs for the SMX playoffs, which is unprecedented, which is amazing. So thank you for joining us. We've got live viewers right now, and whole point of this conversation, like we've talked about, is just to give as much good information so that people who maybe haven't been following it as closely, they understand what the playoffs are all about, how riders are qualified, and some other cool information that you might not know about that we want you to share with us. So again, thank you for joining us live today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Mike, first question I would kind of be wondering is, how did this all come to light? You know, this is a big deal. You got Feld Entertainment, and you have Pro Motocross, all SMXperts, all teaming up. So when was this concept kind of brought about, and then how long did it really take to materialize?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the clip notes. It really started just prior to COVID, working with SMXperts and ourselves on the schedules that we had to work during COVID. And then, you know, the relationships grew from there. We kind of took a step back and said, wait a minute, this makes sense. And we got along really well. So from there, it just evolved to where now the series is, we look at it as 31 events, and we work closely with Carrie and Tim and Davey over there on all things Supercross, just like they work with us on all things motocross. So really, it's been a fruitful relationship. We're excited about the 3 SMX finals rounds coming up, and I think it's been good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I know the riders, they aren't complaining because there's so much money that is up for grabs. And I know us as spectators, we are thankful because, normally we have the outdoor championship, it ends, and then we think, oh, now we got this really long break until we get back into Supercross. But we got 3 more rounds to go. So, it's better than Monster Cup was, because with Monster Cup, it was just one race and, and the money's more. The overall winner of these playoffs for 450, let's say, doesn't have to win all 3 races to win that million. It's just the overall winner at the end of it, and then the 500,000 to the 250s as well. So, again, thank you for you and outdoor or motocross for you guys getting together and making this all happen. It's awesome. So, first question: how have riders throughout this year qualified to get into these races? So just for people that are new to this, who maybe don't know what's going on, how do they, because we say playoffs, we've talked a lot about riders have to qualify. So give us a rundown on that.
Yeah, so we took the combined points from Supercross, 17 rounds, Pro Motocross, 11 rounds, and that determined the seeding. So that's determined the top 30 riders that are going to race in the Super Motocross World Championship Finals. Of those 31, there's 20 that are seeded, and 21st through 30th are unseeded. Those top 20 that are seeded will be competing. They're guaranteed into the night program at Super Motocross. We'll host an LCQ race at the end of the afternoon qualifying sessions on Saturday, which will determine the additional 2 gate slots.
Okay, and so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to finish up by saying, so that's currently where we're at in the process. AMA Pro and the American Motorcycle Association are working hard on securing and ensuring that all of the riders, anybody that's injured, has an alternate to replace, so that we always have 10 people in the LCQ and try to give everybody the opportunity that's earned it within the finals.
Okay, so now we have a graphic here from the SMX website that shows who the top 20 seeded riders are at this current moment. And so the question that I had is, what about, say, the Eli Tomacs and some of these riders that are pre-qualified and they're seeded, but we know aren't going to be able to line up? So are you going to take, say, a Jose Butron, who right now is he's 21st, so he's 1 spot out of being guaranteed into the night show. Does he get bumped into the top 20, or does that mean they just take 1 more rider? So instead of taking 2 riders from the LCQ, they're going to take a 3rd.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head. So rather than taking 2 riders out of the LCQ, we'll take 3 or 4 or 5, or whatever's necessary to ensure 22 in the lineup. In positions 21 through 30, that's where if anybody is missing out of that 21 through 30, we'll start dipping into the alternate. So 31 overall, 32 overall, 33 overall, so that we always have 10 in the LCQ competing, and then the top 22 for the 2 moto format.
Okay, so like a rider like Austin Forkner, who finished, I believe, 31st or 32nd, he might still end up in these LCQs depending on who's able to show up or if a rider gets hurt.
He could, yes. And I'm not sure where AMA is at currently in AMA Pro on going through those alternates, but yes, in theory, he could make it.
Okay, awesome. And now we've talked about the seeding. So riders are seeded. So Chase Sexton right now, he has the most combined points for Supercross and Motocross of 710. So what this means is that for the viewers watching this that aren't aware, the reason that the seeding is important is because these riders are going to show up with points already in hand. So Chase Sexton is going to roll up and already have a full race of 25 points, and then it goes in descending order all the way till 20th. So Aaron Plessinger, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, will be 21 or 22 points?
Aaron Plessinger would be, yes, 25, 22. And then 20 for 3rd, 18 for 4th, 17 for 5th. And It goes down from there. 20th place is the last place that has points going into Charlotte.
Okay, and then the last place, and then but the 21st through 30th, even if they make it into the night show, if they're one of those two riders, they're not given any or awarded any points going into that night show. They will start with 0, correct?
Correct. They'll start with 0, and then obviously, depending on what they earn in Charlotte, that's when they would get their points for the next round.
Okay. Now, these LCQs, kind of interesting. So we have the first LCQ that we're going to have in Concord, but there's going to be an LCQ before each round. So the 2 riders that qualify from the LCQ, or maybe 3, however many it ends up being, they're not just going to be automatically in for the following weekend. So the 21 through 30th are going to have to go to the LCQ each and every weekend. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. So
okay.
21 through 30, every single weekend, they'll get the same practice qualifying sessions as the seeded riders, but they'll race that last chance qualifier in order to earn their spot in the night program.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the racing format. I think that clarifies the whole point structure and why that's important. And just so people know, too, all the combined points for Supercross and Motocross, those are completely washed out. Those no longer matter. Really, all it comes down to is where the rider is seated from that point forward. And it's also important to point out, too, is that the points will be same structure, so 25 points for first, so on and so forth, but round 2, those points will double, and then round 3, those points will triple, which, Mike, I think is a great idea, because now, even if, say, somebody wins the first 2 rounds, well, if they have a poor finish on the 3rd round, but maybe the rider who in 5th place wins, well, that can definitely switch things up. So I think the riders are probably excited for that as well. And also, as far as the format, so... And what you're talking about is it's based off Olympic scoring. So treat this like a triple crown from Supercross, correct? Where if a rider goes 1-2, he gets 3 points total for the night. It's Olympic scoring, and that's how the overall is determined. And points are paid or awarded off of overall scores, not individual motos, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. All right, let's move on and talk about the racing schedule, because a little bit different now. So for those that haven't looked yet, Friday practice is going to be, it's like press day, but you are doing Fan Fest and activities Friday before the races. And so this is a little bit different for spectators. It's not just you show up on Saturday, Fan Fest is the day of the races. So give us a little bit more insight on that, Mike. If somebody is saying, oh, you know what, like maybe I do want to go Friday and Saturday and buy that extra ticket, what events, what all are they going to be able to see and do on Friday before the races?
Yeah, so SMX is kind of a weekend festival, the way we look at it. So starting on Friday, continuing into Saturday, we have camping available. So, true to motocross, a lot of people are used to coming to camping. Camp, not so much at Supercross, so it's a little bit new for us at Feld, but we're excited about it. And we wanted to take it to the next level. And on Friday, host events. We traditionally have always hosted press conferences, or at least press days, on Fridays, but they've been closed to the public and open to media only. So this gave us the opportunity. We have folks in place that have a desire to come see a press conference. Let's show it to them. So we open up the Fan Fest. We're going to host the press conference in the Fan Fest area for the campers, and you can also purchase tickets to it on SuperMotocross.com. But a whole host of things that we're looking to do. Press conference is 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. From that point, riders will take to the track, and that includes all classes, the amateur classes, 250s, 450s, both seated and unseated, for 2 10-minute free practice sessions. That'll really be the first opportunity that everybody will have to see these guys on the track. Because the SuperMotocross track is going to be completely different than anything that we've done previously, and have really looked at inspiring it from Supercross and Motocross. So, I think that'll be fun for fans just alone to see that, let alone these guys taking to the track for the first time. And I personally always enjoy watching them figure out, new obstacles and new ways to do things. So that'll be one of the more exciting parts, in my opinion. We'll have live music throughout the afternoon. Pit bike Super Pole race brought to you by Yamaha. So we've worked closely with Yamaha on having pit bike races with a lot of celebrities. I can't really mention all of the names right now, but pretty A-list industry folks that'll be taking part in it, and I think people will be impressed with that. And then we're going to host the SMX Insider Live show live for the folks there at SuperMotocross, and they'll be able to interact with JT and Weege and a few other guests from Title 24 and other shows, other podcasts that we work with. So really, it'll be an exciting Friday afternoon, just kind of teeing us up for the real fireworks on Saturday.
Yeah, sounds like it. So that's Friday, and then on Saturday, so the schedule's going to be a little bit different. There's still going to be heat races, and heat races are just going to be for gate pick selection. And then, so there's no free practice, correct? So Friday's practice is taking the spot of the free practice that would normally happen on Saturday. So for Race Day Live, you're still doing Race Day Live. That show will be there, but so there'll be 2 timed qualifying sessions, and then that takes us to the heat races for the night show. Is that correct?
Close, yeah. Oh. So in a traditional Supercross format, yes, we would have free practice and 2 qualifying sessions, but we'd remove that free practice and only left the 2 qualifying sessions on Saturday. So the first time when you come in for the event on Saturday morning, you're going to see these guys going for it in the qualifying sessions. The seeded riders, again, they have 2 10-minute qualifying sessions. That's for gate selection in Moto 1. And then for the unseeded riders, that'll be for gate selection in the last chance qualifiers.
Okay, so they're go ahead.
From the last chance qualifiers, the top 2 or 3 or 4, as we mentioned earlier, whatever it winds up being, those riders will qualify direct from the last chance qualifier in a Moto 1. For the night program, each class 250s and 450s will run 2 20-minute motos.
Okay, so
and that's as we mentioned, the Olympic scoring that determines the overall.
Okay, so there are no heat races. It's 2 qualifying sessions, and that's going to determine gate picks for the first of 2 main events.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And the main events for both classes are 20 plus 1, correct, for 450s and for 250s?
Yes, each moto will be 20 minutes plus 1, regardless of the displacement.
I am curious to know, and I'm sure that, Dirtworks, they do a phenomenal job, but looking at the track layouts, for anybody that hasn't seen these yet, you need to go look at them. The tracks, they look ginormous. There's super cool layouts, very interesting. I think it's going to make for awesome racing, but when I saw that and I heard, man, that's 4 20-minute motos on the night. And you think, wow, can a track really hold up to that? But it makes a little bit more sense if you're not doing 2 heat races per class and you're just doing the main events. But you also talked about some amateur racing that these people are going to get treated to as well. Yeah,
so we saw a lot of success in futures. The MX Sports folks have seen a lot of success in the Moto Combine, so we wanted to bring it into SuperMotocross as a world championship event and showcase these young up-and-coming stars. So we've invited 22 of the world's fastest 65cc riders to compete in Charlotte. They will get an 8-minute plus 1 lap. And then in Super Minis coming to Chicago, so fastest, I believe they're 11 to 16-year-olds. They'll have an 8-minute plus 1, and then bringing the 250 World All-Stars class, best A and B riders from around the world to Los Angeles for an 8-minute plus 1. So you really get to see all generations of the future coming through a SuperMotocross event.
Awesome. Even more racing for us to watch. Now, for viewers out there, if you are wondering where you're going to be able to watch these, it's going to be on, if you have the Peacock Premium subscription, nothing's going to change there, correct, Mike? If you've been watching Supercross and Motocross, exact same way, you're just going to go to Peacock and the races will be there, correct?
That's correct, yeah. Everything will be broadcast on Peacock. Opening round in Charlotte will be on USA. Kickoff at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll have a pre-race show to talk about, the expectations and set the stage for the night.
Awesome. Well, Mike, we're excited for it. A lot of new stuff coming. I think it is awesome. I think the riders are excited for it with how much money is on the line. It's a new format that similar, but we haven't really seen before. It's like a triple crown, but over 3 weeks with extra racing and even a better fan fest all at the same time. So I'm excited for it. So again, thank you to you, everyone over at Feld Entertainment, SMXperts. Thank you for coming together to give us this awesome playoff series. And is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you might want to talk about or shed light on?
No, I think we hit everything, Chase. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. Looking forward to next week. Fly out in just a few days. Get it going.
Awesome, Mike. Well, hey, again, thank you so much for your time, and we can't wait, and we're going to see some awesome racing come next Saturday.
All right, take care. Thank you.
See you later. All right, well, there you have it. Again, thank you to Mike Muye from Feld Entertainment. Hopefully, we answered a lot of your questions for these playoff rounds. Again, if you have others, comment those down below. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's get the conversation going. Who do you have? We just saw Jet Lawrence completely dominate the outdoor series. But Chase Sexton, you know, he's going to be hot on his heels. We got the 250 class. I know a lot of people are going to be hyped on Danger Boy Deegan. What can Hunter Lawrence do there? So it's going to be phenomenal. But remember, go to RM Fantasy SMX.com. Picks are going to open up this Sunday. And again, Sid, one more time, show these people what is up for grabs. We got $10,000, possibly $50,000 for the first place finisher overall, $7,500 a second, $2,500 a third. And, of course, we're doing the weekly prizes. And your points, same thing, single, double, triple. So we're going to make it interesting and super excited. Oh, yeah. For those that don't know, tomorrow, tune in live. If you watched our RM Fantasy SMX show, I lost a bet. So I got to eat a really hot peanut tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But thank you. If you tuned in live, thank you so much. Again, thank you to Mike Muye for calling in. And we're excited. So, again, join us this Sunday. Get your picks in. And then next Thursday, tune in live, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time on the Rocky Mountain YouTube show. We're going to be back live to bring you stats to help make your picks. So we will see you then.